The heavy rain continues, and we have widespread reports of storm damage across the heart of Virginia. We'll update you on the storm damage and look ahead to when the rain ends.
Widespread damage.
Well, that's my car.
That's your truck,
Yeah,
your SUV.
And I think it probably hit the medical center and came this way.
Houses destroyed, cars ruined, and so much more from tornado winds. The shocking images coming in and what people on the ground are saying.
You're watching ABC 13, news coverage you can count on. This is ABC 13 News at 11.
And we want to get straight to a tornado that has swept through Lynchburg and Amherst County just a few hours ago. Many homes and businesses now in ruins. We have team coverage for you tonight. Will Stafford, Dave Walls, and Kyle Wilcox are all in these areas where we've seen some of the worst damage. But first, let's go to Chief Meteorologist George Flickinger in the Weather Center with what we can expect for the rest of the evening. George.
Hey, Carrie, it's certainly been a tough evening to track these storms for you as we've had the numerous warnings all across the heart of Virginia. Well, I do have some good news for you in that tonight's severe weather threat has ended. No more tornado warnings or severe thunderstorm warnings. However, you can still see a lot of rain falling across the heart of Virginia, and this is some heavy rain. By the time we wake up tomorrow morning and look outside and look at our rain gauges, many of us will have over 2 inches of rain. Right now, nearly every location in the ABC 13 viewing area is getting rain. The heaviest of the rain is this area right through here, this red from Farmville down toward Bugs Island Lake. But all of us, nearly all of us, are getting at least moderate showers, and there are some downpours. So if you're watching us from Amherst County, the Elon community where you were hit hard by that storm today, the rain is going to continue after midnight, and for many of us, we won't see the rain ending until near 2 o'clock in the morning. You can also see the showers across Southside, Alta Vista, into Brookneal. Danville, you have some lighter rain, and the rain is trying to taper off into far southwest Virginia, some lighter showers in Martinsville, and also you can see the showers back toward Floyd County. The severe weather threat for the rest of tonight is gone. This map shows that we are in this non-severe weather area, so this means for the rest of tonight we will have rain, but you don't have to worry about any more damaging storms. The severe weather threat is now off to our east in Richmond. Coming up a little later, I'm going to take you back and I'll show you the storm which produced the tornadoes across our area, and we'll also look ahead to drier weather.
Thanks, George. And state police have been responding to so much of this damage in different areas. This includes Elon, as George was just mentioning. Take a look at these pictures they sent us. Only the foundation left of this house, the walls completely blown out there. But luckily, police say as of right now, only minor injuries are reported, which is really good news considering what we're looking at right now. And for those of you who are now without power in Amherst County, Manellison Middle School has opened up their doors for those in need. Will Stafford is there right now. Will, what can you tell us?
Carrie, we're out here at Manellison Middle School where the site of the shelter is, and we, my photographer and I, Tony Day, we drove up Route 130 and we couldn't get all the way to Elon. It's about a 6-mile commute from here. We only got about 3 miles up the road before we were turned back around. On the way up there, though, we did see several downed trees. Couldn't see a lot because of the dark. Once first light comes up, we'll be able to get a better grip on the damage, but we have understood that there are still people up there, and once those people are located, they'll be asked to come back down here if they don't have anywhere else to go. And once they come here, you can reach out to them if you know someone that is up there that maybe you haven't gotten in contact with yet. You can call 846-1307. That's the number to this Manellison shelter. They're expecting anywhere from 15 to 100 people. The director of the shelter told me that the emergency management director here in Amherst County has told them that they could expect anywhere between 15 and 100 people. So far, however, none have showed up here at the shelter, but anyone in Amherst County that has any sort of need to stay at the shelter tonight can do so, even if it's just as simple as you don't have any power. More than welcome to come out here. That shelter is set up and ready to go. You can come in and just register all night long, any time of the night. You can come in and have a place to stay tonight. The shelter will be open, they tell me, as long as it's needed. We're live in Amherst County tonight. Will Stafford, ABC 13 News.
Thank you, Will. And again, we have team coverage of this. We go now to Dave, who's on Timberlake Road, where there was a lot of damage. Dave, what are you seeing?
Well, Carrie, right now, only the sounds of raindrops and the lights of emergency vehicles are the only things on Timberlake Road on this evening, as business and homeowners are dealing with the effects of this storm that ripped through this area just several hours ago. But a step out of the way so you can see behind me, this is the floor and carpet show up on Timberlake Road, and that's all that's left of the front of this business. Now, again, it was the storm ripped through just after 7 o'clock tonight. I shot video of this business. I hope we could show that to you now, of what is left of some of the businesses. The floor and carpet show, again, the roof was ripped off at the top of it. The entire front of the display is gone, with the nearby buildings with bricks thrown, wood impaled, and nearby shed and garage business had their sheds flipped over. But it was the sights and sounds that some people say was the scariest thing of all.
We didn't see the tornado. We saw the wind and rain. It was going sideways, and the power shut off, and it was loud. It was definitely close. And when we started hearing the sirens, we knew that it was serious.
So right now, it's the power that is still out here on Timberlake Road. Traffic has been closed throughout the evening hours. Emergency crews and the police have this area blocked off, and it's going to be some time before people can resume their normal travel through this area. Carrie?
Dave, I understand the damage is not just at that building, it's even to some houses in that area too.
That's absolutely right. There are homes actually on both sides of this particular area. There's apartment communities and back, and we've seen some of them have a lot of debris, some banged up windows, siding, and other vehicles. In fact, a family friend of mine, her mother lives in a home just in back of here. During our time in between shows, I was able to go and check up on her. A little bit shaken up, very loud noises, but she is okay. She's one of the lucky ones who will come out of this doing okay tomorrow. Carrie?
And thanks, Dave. And ABC 13 News anchor Mark Spain was out on Timberlake Road today as well. He took these pictures of the damage, and he says he also spoke with someone who was inside the Burger King when the winds and tornado came crashing through.
Well, that's my car.
That's your truck,
Yeah,
your SUV.
And I think it probably hit the medical center and came this way.
Right.
And you can see that there's some air conditioning units back there that were probably thrown off the roof over there. But this is all the damage here.
Okay.
So,
you got insurance?
Just liability. It's an old car.
And you're alive.
Yeah, I'm alive. That's the best thing, yeah.
And again, tonight we're only seeing minor injuries, which is, again, really good news considering some of the images that are coming in right now. The storm did some damage on the south side as well, leaving many people in the dark. ABC 13's Kyle Wilcox caught up with some people who saw the storm tear through their city. Kyle?
I'm on Westover Drive in Danville, where a lot of damage was sustained from the storm. Now behind me, Public Works and also police are preventing me from going any further due to safety reasons. Now, part of Westover is going to be closed for overnight after several downed trees took out power lines. The storm hit Danville so bad that it's now under a local state of emergency. Several of those lines that were downed could be seen dangling in the air. Many homes along the road are without power. Crews were sawing trees and trying to clear debris from the roadway. The storm left some in the area shaken.
It was really scary, but, you know, I had to hold my composure for my kids. They were a little scared, but, you know, because they've never seen anything like this before.
You could just see the white and it spinning, and I honestly don't ever want to see it again.
Officials are estimating that 3,000 to 4,000 people are without power. Make sure to stay with us to get more updates on the storm's aftermath. Live in Danville, Kyle Wilcox, ABC 13 News.
Thank you, Kyle. And we're keeping an eye on power outages for you because many of you are in the dark right now. There are about 20,000 people without power across the state, and the areas with the highest include Campbell County with about 2,100 people in the dark. Amherst County has about 1,700. And we're also keeping an eye on the power outages in Danville as well. Here's a look at the outage map. At last check, officials are estimating that about 3,000 to 4,000 people are without power. They say they have crews coming tomorrow to assist with power restoration. And we want to bring you back now to the damage in Lynchburg we have seen all over the city. This is here at Circle Place, where you can see here the tree that collapsed on a garage, which then fell on those cars that you see there right there. Luckily, our photojournalist Tony Day tells us no one was hurt, but certainly a lot of damage with several down trees. And let's continue our team coverage with ABC 13's Valencia Jones, who is live in Lynchburg. Valencia, what are you seeing where you are?
I am seeing a total mess. I'm at Langhorne Road and Landon Street, and if you take a look behind me, this is one of countless trees that have fallen in the area. And now take a look at this video. You'll see some damage further down Langhorne Road, a tree right in the middle of the road, and a power line down. This is quite a familiar scene throughout the city and the surrounding area after storms swept through this afternoon. And then some emergency crews are now on scene at Boonesboro Road at VES Road. The entire road is blocked off. Thousands of people are without power throughout the area, as you have heard. Timberlake and Lakeside Drive areas dealing with this as well. And some folks have told us already that their power would be restored around 1:30 in the morning, and others have said there's no word on when crews will have theirs restored. So there's a lot of debris, as we mentioned, out there on the road, and people need to be careful as lanes are being narrowed down to one lane, and watch out for those emergency crews because they're out there trying to get these trees picked up and get power restored in the area. So, of course, we'll keep you updated on the storm damage, and you can visit our ABC 13 app for more updates. Live in Lynchburg, Valencia Jones, ABC 13 News.
Thank you, Valencia. And several places are opening their doors if you need a place for shelter. In Lynchburg, the Salvation Army and Thomas Road Baptist Church are letting people in. And in Madison Heights, if you need a place to stay, you can head over to Manellison Middle School. That's where Will is right now. Those in Danville who need a place to stay can call the non-emergency warning number listed on your screen. But let's not list on your screen. We will have that on our website. And we have some closings and delays to tell you about for tomorrow. Lynchburg City Schools and Amherst County Schools are among the districts that are closed. Pennsylvania County Schools are on a 2-hour delay. And if you miss the closings along the bottom of your screen, look for the closing section on our website under the Weather tab. We take a look at your storm pictures when we come back.
We're also going to track those storms, and we're going to look ahead to when this rain ends. That's next. Hi, everyone. First of all, I hope that you're okay and that you're safe tonight. It's been a bad storm day for us as we've seen numerous severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, and rare reports of tornado damage in our area, including in Lynchburg and especially up into Amherst County. Now, the good news I have for you is that the severe weather threat, and by this, the severe thunderstorm, having severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado threat has ended for us. The severe weather threat is now off to our east, and it's right along this eastern edge of the line of storms to the east of Farmville. That's marching its way toward Richmond, and there will be more tornado warnings in that area. But for us, we are finished with the tornado warnings. However, this heavy rain will be continuing until after midnight, and by the time that many of us wake up tomorrow morning, we're going to see some rain amounts over 2 inches in the rain gauge. Right now, Amherst County, Lynchburg, Bedford, Appomattox can see the rain also picking up in Brookneal. All this rain is advancing up toward the north. Quick close-up look in Lynchburg. What's also interesting about this is that as we go back and look at the storm and the storm damage is that it was actually really one particular storm that did most of the damage that lifted northward. And actually what I want to do is to show you what happened. The storm, which made its way through the Lynchburg area, which did produce some of the tornado damage, that was the same storm that had the tornado warning in Danville, moved across the western edges of the city, and the worst tornado damage appears to be right in here in the Elon area along Route 130. Now tomorrow I'm going to go take a look at this area as well as other areas so that I can go and survey some of the storm damage. This is a look right now at some of the severe weather reports that we have in, and these are just the preliminary reports from the National Weather Service. And as we know, of course, there will be one confirmed for Amherst. It'll be appearing on the map here. But this shows you that the wind damage was fairly widespread across our area. But what was especially interesting to me is that how this tornado warning in Lynchburg basically hid itself. So what I want to do here, this is a little different. I normally don't do this in a weathercast, but this is fascinating to me. What you're looking at here, and I'm going to take you back into earlier in the afternoon. This is looking at basically 5 hours ago. At 6:23 in the afternoon, when we had our live coverage, that's when the storm of the tornado warning had passed over Danville, and you can see it right here. See that, where the red is curling in and the green comes in? That's where the storm of the tornado warning was located. Then from there, it moved northward over the Chatham area and also into Gretna, and continued making its way up into Campbell County. The National Weather Service, once the storm got into Campbell County, the National Weather Service canceled, and I'll zoom into this for you, they canceled the tornado warning because what you're looking at here is that the storm was actually weakening as it moved into Lynchburg, and this is what it looked like on the radar when it moved into town over Lynchburg. What I think happened is that as the storm was weakening, the broad circulation within it constricted. It tightened. And so instead of a broad area of wind, there was a small area of very intense wind, and that's what came down and touched down and did some of that wind damage. It's just actually a very small area in Lynchburg that had the damage, but then after that, the tornado warning was reissued, and then as that storm made its way up into Amherst County, it got stronger, and right through there in the Elon area, that is when you had the tornado, and that is when you had some of the worst damage. I'm going to talk much more about this coming up a little bit later, but this has been very fascinating to watch that tornado because it's so rare that we have tornadoes in the Lynchburg area anyway. As far as the rain totals that we're going to get from this, most of us will be near 2 inches. And the good news is that by tomorrow morning, this rain is going to be tapering off. Now, a few small showers are possible early before we see the rain ending. Looking at your temperatures for tomorrow, take your jacket with you. It's going to be breezy and cool as we stay in the lower 50s for most of us with upper 50s in South Side. Here's a check on your 7-day forecast. Falling to 53 tomorrow afternoon. We're breezy and we're cool. Aside from a few morning showers, we're dry. And then we're warming right back up again for Wednesday. No severe storms in this forecast.
George, and now let's take a look at some pictures and video we're seeing through our social media partner Banjo. First here, this is a house in Elon that was destroyed from that tornado. And next, another house. This is from Lacey Fink, also in Elon. You can see the total devastation there. And our next picture here, this is in Lynchburg. It looks like a store was knocked over from those winds. And this next one here, this is the damage to the Med Express on Timberlake Road. You can see the windows and insulation have been busted out. And if you see storm damage, we want you to send it to us. Just download our ABC 13 News app, then go to the See It, Send It tab. You're taking another live look from Amherst County. Will Stafford is back with the latest on the damage. And the city of Lynchburg has just issued a state of emergency. They're telling people that if you don't have to be on the road, do not get on the road. That's not only because of the damage that has happened, but also because of so much rain we're seeing, and they just haven't gotten a chance to get around to cleaning up all the debris. So again, right now, the city of Lynchburg is in a state of emergency. And let's check back in with Will, who's in Manellison Middle School.
And to piggyback off that a little bit, Carrie, we've also been told that state police don't want you on Route 130 going up towards Elon as well. So if you could stay off of Route 130, go ahead and do that. Basically, we're going to tell you the same thing we tell you during snow coverage. If you really don't have to be outside tonight, if you're in Lynchburg or Amherst County, probably a good idea to just not be outside tonight. Go ahead and stay inside. We're again here at the Manellison shelter, and to piggyback a little bit off of what George said, just by what we could see driving up 130. Again, it's dark. We don't have the best of lighting at this time of the day, but it would be interesting to see that when the first light comes up tomorrow morning, exactly how much damage. We could tell that there's obviously some massive damage up there in Elon. We didn't get a really good eyes on exactly what was going on up there, so we'll get a better idea of that tomorrow. We have understood that there are still people up Route 130 that are still in and around the Elon area that have yet to be brought back down here. Most of those people were being told that they are reaching out to friends and family, but some of them might not have anywhere to go, and if that is the case, they would in fact be brought here to the shelter. If you need to locate someone, if you're having trouble locating them, go ahead and call the shelter. That number is 846-1307. That number again, 846-1307. Emergency management is telling the people at the shelter they can expect anywhere between 50 to 100 people. As of last check, we have not heard any official reports of people actually staying here, but we've seen a lot of cars coming either to drop off donations or maybe to stay here. So we're going to go inside and check in on that in just a little bit. But again, anyone can come out here. If you are in need of a place to stay in Amherst County tonight, you could come here. Again, it's at Manellison Middle School in Madison Heights. We'll send it back inside to you.
And you're taking a live look at Campbell County, where we've seen a ton of storm damage. Whitney Burney is there. Much more on the severe weather coming up. Our team coverage. Whitney Burney is live on Timberlake Road in Campbell County. And Whitney, what have you seen on that part of the road where you are?
Carrie, I've been out here for a couple of hours and the weather here has been absolutely intense. I mean, pouring rain, heavy winds, it's just been crazy out here. And as you can see, this is still a pretty active scene. There are lots of emergency crews all around, lots of fire trucks still here, and they actually have the roadways blocked for about a mile or so around this area. Now, let me tell you a little bit about some of the damage that we've seen here. Now, this is the Medical Express on Timberlake. The Medical Express, the Starbucks, and the Burger King next door all had extensive damage to the buildings. The siding of the building started to tear off. There were brick debris all over the parking lot. You can tell that these buildings got the brunt of the tornado here in the Lynchburg area. I spoke to one man today who says that he was sitting in his car outside of the Burger King when the storm hit, and he just made it with his life.
The wind started gusting really bad and it was shaking my car. And then the windows shattered in my car. And the door flew up into the Burger King and the power went out.
Fire crews went into rescue mode shortly after that storm hit. They say at this point they don't believe there were any serious injuries, and they do believe that everyone who was here was accounted for. Now, right now in this area, there are some down power lines, which is why they have the roads blocked off here. So they'll likely be blocked off for the next few hours until they can kind of contain that situation. For now, live in Campbell County, Whitney Burney, ABC 13 News.
Thank you, Whitney. You can stay up to date on all the latest developments on storm damage by using our ABC 13 News app. Then sign up for push alerts so you are the first to get breaking news as it happens. And George is back with another check on your current conditions after this. We'll have team coverage of this storm starting at 5 a.m. on Good Morning Virginia. There's a lot going on, George.
And it's going to be interesting to see the severe weather reports from the National Weather Service that come out after first light so they can survey the storms. And I'm going to go out there myself and also take a look at some of the storm damage. Quick check on the forecast. We're going to see highs only in the low to mid 50s for your Monday. Grab something warm to wear.
Stay safe out there. Have a great night.